Mara's crotch. The next pirate I see gets my axe. Right in the privates. Stop right there, you despicable pirate. Take one more step and I'll gut you belly to nose. Well now, you must have some sharp tusks if you're willing to stand up to the shark. Don't you know that I lead the meanest crew of cutthroats in Hughesbane? This grotto belongs to the Shark's Teeth, and I won't let those pirates ransack it. They're from the ship, the Wakewalker. Bunch of waterlogged elves. Someone named a new Commodore, and now pirates scour the city looking for gifts to impress her. But everything in the grotto is ours, stolen fair and square. Nobody loots our loot. Everybody wants to be one of the Shark's Teeth, huh? All right. Take this paint and a map of the grotto. Just place our sigil at the spots shown on the map to mark our territory. Simple, right? Just don't tusk it up, or else. To show that sea elf captain and his toothless lackeys that the grotto belongs to the Shark's Teeth, of course. When they see that we can do what we want despite their numbers, those cowards will flee, and the grotto will be mine again. Just another bragging blowhard with a fancy hat, far as I'm concerned. Pirates think they're a proper navy. But they do like their titles and finery. Anyway, they all want to impress the new Commodore, so now they're rummaging through my grotto. Because I never sleep, I never stop moving, and I'm a born killer. Plus, my haircut kind of looks like a shark's fin. I run the best gang in Hughesbane, handling protection, stolen goods, and whatnot. Or we will, once we get our grotto back. You do good work, friend. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that a true shark's tooth painted those sigils. I'm thrilled to see our mark back where it belongs. I've decided you can live. Only seems fair, what with your help and all. Greed. Another admirable trait. Anyone who claims to work for free either wants to rob or cheat you. Never trust an unselfish cur. That's my motto. Here's your gold. You want more? Come back tomorrow. Probably need to replace the sigils by then.
My point exactly. We know almost nothing about him.
Then we should learn more. We can all agree on that, yes?
Any luck? Ha! You did! It may not look like much, but it'll make a world of difference to the old hand. Funny how objects take root in a body. After so long, they just seem to become part of a person. Here's your pay, as promised.
You've been busy. Did you realize you've provided the Thieves Guild with a lucrative opportunity? Probably not. It's all right. I won't even imply you're thick. That's how lucrative. Silverclaw's ledger? The blackmail you stole from Noshira Citadel? This is our blueprint to pulling heists just like we used to. We can hit our rivals where it hurts, take their ill-gotten gains for ourselves, use it to rebuild. Among the blackmail I noticed the name Farandar. He's a claw cutter, a thief who robs other thieves. Wouldn't you know, he signed on as our master of heists. Now, and don't strain yourself, who should you speak with next?
Ah, Velsa tells me you are the one who freed Farendar from Koshe's leash. The cub is more seasoned than she admits, but Farendar's eyes are sharper than his claws. Tongue, too, where Velsa is concerned. I have missed her conversation. Both are the guilds to serve, and so now they serve you too. Ah, a good tip is only one of the services I provide, boss. Think of Farendar as your observer, guide, and porter. You handle the theft, I will handle the rest. Wealth in Abba's landing comes and goes like its tides. What washes in isn't here for long or left about like flotsam to be scooped up by any passerby. There are many hidden nooks where such things are tucked away. Farendar knows them all. Farendar's little birds post things of interest at the guild. If something catches your eye too, speak up and we plan the heist. Go through me or not at all. We don't want members stepping on each other's toes or skimping on their dues. Perhaps I am. A very sneaky butler who ensures that all things reach their proper destination. Loot from an industrious thief's sticky fingers into a wanting buyer's tender embrace, and gold from a happy buyer's pocket to a deserving thief's palm. Then we should see what my magpies have brought back to the nest. I'll await you at the tipboard in the guild hall.
Ready to help me with that personal matter? This is the family mansion of my old friend Anais Velmont. Just as big and opulent as the last time I was here. I was brought here when I was very young. My first memories are of Anais and the Velmont mansion. Anais and I grew up side by side. We were the best of friends. Until the family left for Black Marsh, we were always together. We were that close. You know, I never thought to ask about that. Anais told me that her father saved me from some horrible fate, but she never provided any details. The Velmonts were very good to me. Outside of the guild, they're the closest thing I have to a family. I was barely in my teens when the family left. She wanted me to go with her, but I couldn't leave the only home I ever knew. I slipped away in the night, and I haven't seen them since. Now Anais has returned to take control of the family mansion. Anais? Where do I begin? I was taken in by Anais and her family when I first arrived in Abba's Landing. I owe her and the Velmonts so much. My mannerisms, my pattern of speech, my fashion sense. Time passes, things change. When the family packed up for an extended trip to Black Marsh, I decided to stay here. They went to deal with business interests, and I wandered the streets of Abba's Landing. Eventually, the guild found me and took me in. I understand that since Anais has returned, she's been making inquiries about me. It's clear that her memories of our time together won't let her put the past behind her. We need to steal those memories, preferably without getting caught. The past can be a vice that holds us back. I've seen it. I want to teach Anais to let go of her memories, forget about me, and get on with her life. After we steal the items that once belonged to me, by the way, she'll stop looking for me. Keepsakes, jewelry that Anais had made from my hatching shell, and scales I lost during molting. You know, now that I say the words out loud, it sounds kind of strange for someone to have kept my discarded body parts. Is that common practice? The Velmont mansion is a large place. Why don't you check the kitchens and courtyard while I search the family suites? Meet me there when you're done, and we'll get out of here together. Like shadows, my friend. We need to get in and out of the mansion without causing too much mayhem and without being seen. Agreed. It feels odd being back here. Let's not linger. Let's find those keepsakes and get out of here before someone notices us. Quickly now, search the courtyard and kitchens. Then meet me in the family wing of the mansion. My amulet's in there. Would you mind getting it? There's a young Argonian in there. He unsettles me.
Oh no, my lady will be furious when she sees these spots. You're ruining the carpet. Lady Anais will make me scrub it all over again when she sees those boot prints. Servant? Oh no, not at all. I'm Lady Anais' best friend. We do everything together. And when she's busy dealing with the mansion or the family business, I do everything I can to make sure she's happy. That's what friends are for, right? Every day, scrubbing the floors, wiping down the tiles, sometimes I even wash the ceilings, all to make Lady Anais happy. Speaking of which, I should prepare a bath. Scalding but not too hot, otherwise she might punish me, just as a reminder. A good friend has to help teach me my lessons. That's what Lady Anais always says. How else will I learn? Besides, if I do things the wrong way, I'll disappoint my very best friend in the whole world, and I don't want that to happen. What do you mean? I've been by my lady's side since I hatched from my egg, and she's always treated me with nothing but love and affection. She provides food, shelter, and friendship. What else do I need? Now please go. I need to clean these floors.
There's one more thing before we go. Anais and I used to sit on the balcony and watch the sunset. I'd like to see it one more time before we put this memory behind us. Guard! Intruder! Trespasser! Just the way I remember it. So beautiful. Anais and I would sneak out here and watch the sunset. It was the best of times.
And yet you ran away. You betrayed me and left me all alone. Is that how a beloved pet is supposed to behave?
Anais, I didn't... You weren't supposed to be here.
You were my friend. We were going to do so many things together. And then you ran away like a thief in the night. And that's how you come back to me? Stealing my possessions?
What are you saying? I don't understand.
And you're just as bad as Walks. What gives you the right to break into my home and take my belongings? I should call for the guard and teach you both a lesson. The Valmont family doesn't take kindly to thieves and traitors. Friends. Maybe when I was a child and didn't know any better. But that lizard is my pet, nothing more. Father gave him to me when I was a young girl. How else am I supposed to treat a pet that ran away and misbehaves? I returned to take control of my family's holdings, clear up old business. He's still my property, and I want my property back. As for you, I'll let the authorities deal with you. I have no patience for those who would rather steal than work. Forget him. He's all I've thought about these past few years. How he abandoned me, rejected my love and friendship. No. If he wants to be treated like a bad lizard, then that's the way it's going to be. I've already called for the mansion guards.
You've changed, Anais. Either that or I've been fooling myself this whole time. Goodbye, my old friend.
Goodbye? I don't think so. Even if you escape from the mansion, my agents will find you and bring you back to me. You're mine now and forever. Guards! Take these intruders into custody!
I think it's time to leave, don't you? Quickly now!
What do you say we try some of the local fare? I'm famished.
Meet me back at the den. We can talk there. Our meeting with Anais didn't go anything like I had imagined. She has changed. Or perhaps I'm the one who changed. Learning your own truth can be so confusing. She was my friend. Once. I am almost certain of that. We were always together, laughing, playing, exploring the mansion. Perhaps when I ran away, deserted her, did that turn her into this unfamiliar creature? I was a slave? No, I don't think either of us knew what that meant. Not back then, when we were just children. I suppose deep down I knew it all along, when I ran away instead of going with Anais to Black Marsh. Of course! We took those memories away from Anais and recovered the keepsakes of my youth. Plus, we discovered how far my friend has fallen. I just need to figure out how to help her find the person she used to be. Unless she finds me first. Now that she knows I'm around, I expect her to double her efforts and use every advantage her family's gold can buy. It's what I'd do. Thanks for assisting me with this, by the way. Once I decide on my next course of action, I'll let you know.
Soon we should teach you to spot a tail and shake one. It is not Khajiit dancing I am referring to, though I am told I am great partner. You will need to be quite aware of your surroundings on a heist. There is often little room for error. Of course, boss. I'm eager to see you in action. Bring me a posting, and we'll be on our way. Fresh tip caught your interest? I know the place. Say the word, and we can all be a little richer today. I would think its purpose is pretty clear, but it's the finer details that are of interest, eh? A smuggler's cove of some convenience, a little too well known for anyone to stick around for long. Expect the current tenants to be quite vigilant. Hey, not every job goes according to plan. But that does not mean we need to run off with our tails between our legs. You got the goods? Farendar will sniff out another buyer soon enough. Hey! Got your latest cut of the profits right here, boss. Not bad. We'll have some heat on us for a little while, but the goods will still move. They always do. Here's your take, boss. Until next time.
Hello, partner. I'm happy to inform you that I can pick a lock within 15 seconds. As long as nobody's watching. I'm not sure. Let me get back to you on that after I've had a little more time for everything to sink in. There's certainly more politics involved than I was expecting. The Guildmaster? She seems to be handling a difficult situation, but I certainly wouldn't want to try to fill her boots. If it were me, I'd be a hot mess, but she always finds a way to pull it together. I suppose that's why she's the leader. He's got fancier clothes than most of the nobles back in Oradon. He's also a pretty good listener. He's made me feel welcome. Without you and Walk Softly, I'm not sure I would have stuck around as long as I have. Oh, I've got an opinion. I've got a bunch of them and none of them good. Velsa is mean, ornery, and as prickly as a thorny beanstalk. And I don't think she likes me very much. But I've never seen anyone handle poisons and tinctures the way she does.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. These are troubling times. When we forget the past, it has a disturbing tendency to rear up behind us and bite us in the arse. Perhaps, but that doesn't make it less true. Did you know that Prince Hugh buried his family's secret shame in his own ancestral tomb? It involved his mad uncle Magnifico Baraha, who tried to form a necromantic cult under the prince's very nose. Oh, most definitely. Luckily, the prince discovered his uncle's treachery and trapped the necromancers inside the tomb. Priests were gathered to create a great seal to make sure they couldn't escape. Unfortunately, pirates decided to loot the tomb. You must recharge the Great Seal. The necromancers are using the pirates' life energy to weaken it. Take my amulet, Spirit Catcher, and use it to capture the unleashed spirits. Then you can use that same energy to repair the seal. Not many. Once the amulet has absorbed enough spirits, you can use it to repair the Great Seal at the tomb's far end. Ironic that the same energy the necromancers used to weaken the seal can also be used to repair it. I am the last of my order, and I walk a different path from you. If I die, the Great Seal will eventually fail and the necromancers will escape the tomb. I'd like to postpone that occurrence for as long as possible. I'm sure you understand. Ah, I see you aren't familiar with the term necromancer. Trapped in a tomb, they embraced undeath before they could expire from lack of food and water. I don't like to consider how they went about accomplishing that feat. I can feel the fractures sealing. You did it, didn't you? The tomb is once more secure? Excellent. I just hope no other pirate crews are stupid enough to try to loot the old tomb. I'm glad to have Spirit Catcher back, but I won't see you leave empty-handed. Take this as a token of my gratitude for what you have done. Took your time, didn't you? But you're here. I need your help. I was in the market when someone slipped me a letter. It might not mean anything, but on the other hand, it might be some sort of trap. A folded sheet of paper unsigned. It was only a few lines wishing me well. But when I unfolded the sheet, an old pressed stargazer peony fell out. That unsettled me. It's a flower. Others just like it blossomed all around my family home. But I left my family behind a long time ago. If this is their way of sending me a message, I need to know why now, after all these years. You've consistently demonstrated a lack of incompetence. Find out if my family sent that letter. I didn't part on the best of terms, so it could be a trap. But they won't expect you, which means it shall be slow to spring. Decades ago, I was Velsa Arendis of House Drez. Yes, the one built on the spoils of the slave trade. When I fled, I released dozens of slaves, gave them gold from the house treasury. I regret not seeing the look on Mother's face, but nothing else. Yes, but I didn't realize it then. I was taking a merchant to task for her prices when a half-naked Nord bumped into me. That's when it happened. He fled before I could give him a piece of my mind toward the merchant camp outside the city gates.
My uncle went to town, but he should be back shortly if you need something. I'm still learning the business, and I'm not allowed to do anything. My uncle says I don't have a head for numbers. I say as long as my head looks pretty, what else matters? What? No, that wasn't me. Did you see something? There are plenty of half-naked Nords running around the Baz Landing. Oh, stop interrogating me. I'll confess. It was me. It was all me. But that's all I can say. Client confidentiality, you know. Not breaking my word is important too. But also mead. Mead is important. Gold! I like gold! I met a Khajiit woman in Ralka while I was drinking at the inn. She paid me to deliver the letter to the Dark Elf lady here. Never got the Khajiit's name, though. Sorry.
Don't recall seeing you before. So many new people coming through. Makes my head spin. Not at all the question I expected. You have piqued my curiosity. Why do you seek some random Khajiit? Is there some problem? Oh, well, in that case, an elderly Khajiit does work here. She's a cook, bakes the best pies in town. They really are quite tasty. But she's indisposed at present. I won't let you disturb her rest. That's something you'll have to ask her. It's not my place to talk about the hired help. I do believe she travelled a fair bit in her youth, though. I suppose that won't do any harm. Narani is a kind, gentle old woman, and a master baker of scrumptious pies. The people here are very fond of her, and very protective.
Yes? Who's there? Oh dear, this one must have fallen asleep again. Your face. This one doesn't recognize it. Are you looking for a piece of pie? Velsa? She didn't come with you? Ah, this one was foolish to even send the letter in the first place, or the peony. I hoped the years would have softened her memories, that she might have wanted to see her old friend one more time before the end. This one is no longer the young and brave Khajiit that fell in love with Velsa, and it took a long time to even discover she might be in Abaz Landing. Now I am old and my mind isn't what it once was. Velsa would never even recognize me. Do you really think so? Perhaps that would be best. Enough time has gone by without this one seeing Velsa's sweet face. Even if she's still angry, at least I can tell her that I never betrayed her. Since she didn't come here, I'll have to go to her. Oh, stupid Narani. This one should have thought of that. She feared her terrible family was trying to lure her out of hiding. I should have signed the letter. But you must understand, when we parted, Velsa was hurt very much. Velsa loathed her family's business. This one was a slave then, working in the family's kitchens. We fell in love. We made a plan to free all the slaves, but she thought I'd betrayed her. She disappeared before I had a chance to explain.
Narani, are you all right? I specifically stated that you were not to be disturbed.
Easy, my friend. This one has decided that the time has come to travel and mend old wounds.
The letter bore fruit. I wish you well, but we're going to miss your pies around here.
Could you open a portal to Abba's Landing, my friend? A long journey always makes this one's old bones ache.
Gladly, but I can't keep it open for long. The innkeeper doesn't like me using magicka in here.
This one will write to you, and I'll even sign the letter this time.
Of course. Now, give me a moment to concentrate.
Come, my new friend, let's take this portal to Abba's Landing. If you dislike portal travel, then make your own way and meet me there. So good to see you, my friend. Sometimes portals can be tricky. Time flows so differently for a Khajiit and a dark elf. I am old now, but Velsa... No matter. This one will be glad to see her friend again. Ready? Oh, this one is nervous, but I am also ready. Lead on and I will follow. A secret passage? Velsa always loved secret passages. Let's go! Ah, dark and dusty, just like the secret passages from my youth. You go ahead. This one needs a moment.
Did you find out who sent that letter? Not that I was overly concerned.
Someone who lacked the courage to sign their name, but now wants to make amends.
Marani, is it really you? Just the sight of you opens old wounds.
Oh, Velsa, I know what you saw, what you must have thought. This one never meant to hurt you.
I saw you in my brother's arms. He was the worst of my family. How could you?
He arrived at exactly the wrong moment. I had to do something, or our entire plan would have failed.
You didn't betray us? You did that for me?
It was the only way to guarantee your escape.
I let the years flow by without giving you a chance to explain. Oh, what a waste. But I'll make it up to you. I'll keep you safe. Is this what happiness feels like? Yes. I suppose it is. I had no idea this would be the result of sending you to find a half-naked Nord. The last time I saw Narani was quite unpleasant. There was poison in that wound. I don't think it ever truly healed. You reunited me with my one true love, so I choose to ignore that. I hope there's time to share a few lasting moments before all is said and done. All these wasted years, we've missed out on so much. Nirani wears them like a cloak, though with grace and style. I am grateful you convinced her to come here. Nirani, you must be tired after the journey. Relax and we'll talk later. I know we have so much to tell each other.
Over here.
Zira needs you. It's always important, but this time is especially important. Our failed attempt to steal Magnifica Falora's dowry. If we left the tomb empty-handed, why does the Iron Wheel think we have it? And if it's gone, who actually stole it? Zira needs you to help her find answers. You'll find Zira in the den. She's a bit withdrawn. Not my business, but I figured you should know. Just what the rest of us know. Nicholas, our former guildmaster, planned to steal Magnifica Falora's dowry from her family tomb. He brought Zira and a few others, the best of the guild. Zira is the only one who made it out alive. Zira hasn't shared the details. She watched her friends die, I know that much. Nicholas wasn't exactly a father to her, but she took his death the hardest. We thought they were punishing us for our failed attempt, but you overheard Chief Inspector Ron Beek himself. The dowry was stolen. For some reason, the Iron Wheel thinks we have it, and they'll keep after us until they learn otherwise. A dowry is like a coin pouch. When it's full, everyone wants something from you. That makes you feel important, and maybe you are. But when it's empty, nobody has time for you. It's why Magnifica Falora is relying on the Iron Wheel to find it.
Back to the tomb? Your plan is to relive the Guild's greatest failure?
My plan is to get the Iron Wheel's boot off our necks.
Zira wants to speak with you.
I don't know why we're here, but I don't think I've ever seen Velsa this concentrated.
Have you heard Zira's plan to kill off her own Thieves Guild? Go on, ask her. I'll wait.
Good, you're here. I want to learn whether Magnifica Falora's dowry was truly stolen from her family tomb. If it was, we find out who did. And if it wasn't, we complete the heist that Nicholas began. What's she gonna do? Send a second Iron Wheel? We return to Aldenobia Tomb, bypass the deadliest traps I've ever encountered, and then scour the treasure vaults for anything we can find. I appreciate the confidence, but too many good people died there the first time. We do this right, or we don't do it at all. Perseus Loke can give us an edge. He's one of the few living people to set foot in Magnifica Falora's family tomb. Take Quen and collect him from his shop. Meet the rest of us on the road to Tanith by Prince's Gate. I guarantee Perseus Loke is no friend of the Iron Wheel. He's expecting you at the Diamond Thimble. And he'll be insufferable if you keep him waiting. Perseus Loke once served Magnifica Falora. When she wore the clothes he designed, she was the envy of Tanith society. But there was a scandal, and he fled here, beyond Tanith's reach. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know he blames her. She's the heir to the Aldenobia bloodline.
Her eldest sister, Zarifa, wed King Faharjad. After Zarifa's death, Valora and the king grew close. But not close. They call her the Jewel of Tanith. Beautiful, cold, and hard as a diamond. Nicholas thought his plan to steal the dowry was almost flawless. But almost won't bring our friends back. He didn't have the right people for the job, but I do. Nicholas knew of the dangers within, but not everything. There was a trap. I didn't understand how it worked. Not until it was too late. But this time, I know how it works, and I'll need you by my side to defeat it.
Off to find Perseus Loke. Meet you there, partner.
Everyone else, pack for a long journey. I'll bring us home safe and sound.
More promises you can't keep.
A mess here. Maybe the clerk can tell us what happened. This doesn't look good. Maybe the clerk knows what happened to Perseus Loke.
This one shall lodge a formal complaint. What right has the Iron Wheel to march in here and smash our merchandise? Thugs! Thugs and hooligans! That's exactly what the Iron Wheel said, but much louder and with the shaking of fists. When they bellowed his name, I heard a loud crash upstairs. A distraction, of course. The Iron Wheel rushed upstairs as he slipped down through some loose floorboards. But he landed feet first in a tub of bright dye, covered his boots to the brim. That's also what the Iron Wheel said. Most of them gave chase. The rest tossed the room upon the floor and then gave chase. If you find him before they do, tell him Mamea deserves a raise.
You follow Loke's trail on the street. I'll see if I can spot him from the rooftops. Hurry! Hurry! The Iron Wheel are on his trail!
Ah, a friendly face. Good of you to join me on my unexpected jog. And I agree, this isn't my color. They must know of my previous involvement with your guild, though I can't begin to fathom how. Your former guildmaster, Nicholas, was it? He was the soul of discretion. And I am prepared to give Abar's Landing a wide berth. I'd prefer to avoid the Iron Wheel, at least for the time being. Zira mentioned a rendezvous by Prince's Gate, was it? I'd feel safer were someone to escort me there.
Perseus Loke? I'll get you to Prince's Gate, safe and sound.
Would you happen to have a spare set of boots?
I don't think mine will fit you. Come along, we'll work something out. Camels are cantankerous, smell quite poorly, and are too phlegmy for polite company. Just like my old professor of rhetoric.
You ever notice that camel herders drive hard bargains? I always wonder if they learn such stubbornness from the camels.
Everyone's accounted for. Did you have any trouble? Then we leave for the Kingdom of Tanith. The route is tricky and we'll be considered bandits if we're caught, but getting to the tomb isn't what worries me. If anything happens, well, it won't, because I can count on you. Ready? What about it? Devious traps, vicious guardians, and likely, at the end of it all, a vault full of dust. At least we won't have to worry about the Iron Wheel. I'd rather sit in the den with a bottle of wine and drink until Andari says I've had too much. But I'm in charge, so it doesn't matter what I think. It matters that we go.
Oh, for once I'd like to travel to a remote location and not find the Iron Wheel.
I would avoid engaging the Iron Wheel at all costs. Perhaps find some other way to slip into the tomb. But you are not I, and the world is better for it. For instance, I could never make those pants work.
See how the Iron Wheel litters their camp with traps? Or perhaps you don't. Try not to die out there.
If I may, there is an alternate path inside the tomb. It is likely full of traps, guardians, and prodigious quantities of dust. A small price to avoid the Iron Wheel. Head to the tomb entrance. Keep watch to the side of the path, the right side. You should notice an old trail leading to a sealed entrance. Simply clear the way, and I shall join you to open the door. Oh my, no. The things inside would most certainly kill me. I do know the trick to the door's hidden latch. The rest, I'm certain you can handle yourself.
The last time I was here, the Iron Wheel wasn't camped in front of the tomb. Perfect. Scout ahead and find us a way inside. Clear the way if you care to. The Iron Wheel can't exactly call for reinforcements. You could also sneak past them. We'll track your progress and follow in your footsteps. That's why we brought Perseus Loke. He said something about a side entrance. Speak with him before you go.
An imposing door. Wonderful.
How are we supposed to get through?
Ask Zira. She knows how to do everything in this place, unless it's stealing a dowry.
No idea. Last time, Nicholas had me watch the passage behind us. There must be something in his journal.
Anything useful?
Nicholas loved his puzzles. You're welcome to try.
Don't look at me, I hate puzzles. Once someone knows the answer, everyone knows the answer. Everyone but us.
The door. What is it about the door?
There's something strange about the fires. Do they hold some clue?
Nicholas loved his riddles. His old journal talks about this room, Tawaka's pillars. He always taught me to look for patterns or differences, things that stood out, or the order of placement. Well done. Come on, let's go. The journal says this chasm is called Shinji's Truth. Last time, we never made it across.
I can't see the bottom. Is there a bottom?
Throw yourself in. We'll see how long before we hear the splat.
Quen, walk softly. Look for hidden doors or switches. Velsa, you're with me. I need your help to walk Maluk's path.
And what of your protege?
Watching my back, should anyone try to stab it. Let's go.
There must be a way across. I wonder if I can climb the walls. I'd need to find grips on the cliff. There!
Problem, Sarah?
We'll search the room. If there's anything to be found, we'll find it. Unless we find gargoyles. I hate gargoyles. Even more than spiders.
Forgive me, my old friends.
What did you say?
Nothing. Velsa, do you see that panel? Put your hand on it until I say otherwise.
For what reason?
When I set foot on Maluk's path, an aura of light will surround me. The darkness cannot harm us as long as you touch the panel.
So, what can harm you?
We could fall to our deaths, or the creatures within could devour us.
Well then, enjoy yourselves.
Velsa knows what to do, but we should speak before we cross.
Leave me be. I have to keep my hand on a panel.
On the other side of Maluk's path is Tall Papa's ewer, a very fancy name for a big vase. According to the journal, we'll need sacred ashes from inside the vase to reach the treasure vaults. So, this is it. We should get going. This is where they died. Edda, Dalder, and Nicholas, swallowed by the darkness. I'm sorry, I can't talk about this. No use reliving the past, or regretting it. Here we go. Don't wander, or the darkness itself will flay you alive. We're still moving. Keep holding the panel. Ida? Dalder? What happened to their bodies? And where is Nicholas? I could hear their screams as I held the switch. I had to do something. I couldn't... This is a dead end. Let's turn back. There must be another way we missed. There's no end to the darkness.
Zero, my arm's getting tired.
Don't you dare release that panel! Don't antagonize it. We made it. That must be the vase. Sorry. Tall Papa's you. Wait. That lamp belonged to Nicholas. I watched it go out. I heard him die. Felora must have come here to investigate. She could have picked it up and brought it here. Nicholas couldn't have survived. Could he? That lamp definitely belonged to Nicholas. I procured it for him. I saw him drop the lamp. It hit the path and went out. And all I remember is darkness and pain. I just grab the ashes so we can leave. I don't want to spend any more time in this place. Bring the ashes. We should return to Quen and walk softly. Velsa, you could let go of the panel.
I know what you did.
What?
I know how they died. How you killed them.
That's low, Velsa. Even for you.
Always had to be the hero. Be the Guildmaster's darling.
You're cracked. I didn't need anyone's approval.
You held the panel. From here you saw the creatures closing in. You thought you could save them. Only you! So you released the panel, grabbed your weapon, rushed out to meet them.
I could have saved them.
Because in your head, you are the hero. But the light faded. The darkness rushed in and ate them alive!
I tried to reach them.
And the darkness tried to eat you alive, so you had to recover from your wounds. That's why you didn't return to Abba's Landing. At least not soon enough.
I crawled from the tomb. The darkness... You can't imagine the pain.
You were the only one who could have warned the Guild. Who could tell them the Iron Wheel was coming.
Velsa, stop.
Zira, you were never the hero. You were always a thief. Now, you're just a...
Quen, it's a bad idea.
Words escape me.
Someone tell me what I'm seeing.
We heard strange noises in the chasm. Stone grinding against stone. Quen, well...
I found this invisible bridge.
So you followed my advice and threw yourself into the chasm.
The ashes. Spread them on the bridge to see where it leads. And Quen, get back from there. Do the ashes reveal Shinji's truth?
She just stepped out into nothing! As though she knew it would hold her. Maybe she did. That's confidence I wish I had.
Of all the times to take my advice, she decides to do so now.
Clear the way. We'll be right behind you. getting good at this. Well, I probably shouldn't be proud of that. The door to the treasure vaults, just through this crypt. We
Do
made
all
it.
crypts come with whatever that is?
Every tomb needs a guardian. And old Yokuden saying, wasn't it?
Your introduction is formless and without grace. Recite Denobia's maxim.
That's alarming.
Velsa, Quen, walk softly. Stay back. If it's hostile, we'll handle it.
Recite Denobia's maxim, or you shall be deemed trespassers.
It must be some kind of passphrase. If you have any ideas, now's the time to call them out.
You can't seriously expect us to.
Falora!
Yokuda!
Passphrase!
Gaiden Shinji!
Idiots.
Velsa, you aren't even trying.
Trespasser! Denobia's justice falls upon you!
Didn't go as planned.
You're right. I honestly thought it would kill us all.
Come on, let's see what's in the treasure vaults.
We are standing inside a treasure vault. A real, actual treasure vault. Yes, there's no actual treasure, but I can still say it, can't I?
Do you want to roll around in a big pile of coins? I feel the urge to roll around in a big pile of coins. None are here, of course, but you can still smell them.
Empty. All that for nothing. No, that's wrong. There might be a trail that leads us to the dowry. We just need to look around.
We barely made it here alive, yet someone else slipped past the crypt's guardian? Something's off.
That page, is it from the journal Nicholas kept? Tuwaka watches over you. The passphrase for the crypt guardian? I nearly had it.
Let me see that. Nicholas used half maps like this. Thin overlays placed atop existing maps. You line them up with common points of reference.
What's wrong with that skeleton? Missing its head. It looks like it was hacked off. Must have been done by whoever stole the dowry. But why desecrate a skeleton?
Nicholas survived somehow. He came here and took Magnifica Felora's dowry for himself. I don't want to believe it, but that's how it seems. Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing something? This is his handwriting, but it could have been taken from his journal by someone else. The skeleton must be Denobia herself. This is her tomb, after all. I don't see what it has to do with Nicholas, missing skull or not. 3 points on this sheet. Nicholas always used Abaz Landing and Noshira Citadel as a reference. If I line up those 2 points... Well now, the 3rd point is in Hughes Bane, out in the middle of nowhere. trash he left behind? 3 dots on a page are meaningless unless you know the trick. The only people who did were dead on Maluk's path. Head to Hughes Bane. If Nicholas does have a hideout in the desert, it's time we crack it open.
I hope this isn't what it looks like. I've never seen Zira, so... taut.
Perhaps Nicholas was wounded. Maybe he's trapped and needs our help. Or... well, I'd rather not think of that.
Zira should have known. She should have seen it.
This makes no sense. If Nicholas stole the dowry, why didn't he return to the guild? Could he be injured or perhaps trapped? Return to Abaz Landing. I'll meet you at this secret retreat of his. We need to find answers.
Steel cutter! Full barrage! Toss these curs into a cage! Feel the wrath of the stormy sea!
Is it strange that I don't want to find anything? I don't want to believe Nicholas abandoned us, even though it's probably true. We should look around. Nicholas had a disguise kit just like this one. In fact, this is his disguise kit. Papers, signed by Kosh? What are those doing here? Ancient Yakutan coins, stamped with the likeness of Denobia. Those must be from the dowry. Look closely. There's a hollow crystal with... is that blood inside? Whose blood? I know how Nicholas survived Maluk's path. The crystal must contain Aldenobia blood. Maluk's path would ignore you if you held it. You'd need a lamp to find your way through the darkness so you could grab a handful of ashes. From there, all you'd need is the Crypt Guardian's passphrase. I've seen enough. Nicholas faked his death and stole the dowry. Now he's working with that merchant lord, Kosh. To think I mourned that bastard. Nicholas would have kept such a thing from the guild. The less they know, the less trouble they'll cause. But I'm going to tell the Thieves Guild. I want them to cause a world of trouble, and I want to lay it all on his doorstep. Let's go.
Looks like Thrag did a decent enough job in my absence. Even brought in a few new recruits of his own. That's what I call initiative. But now that I'm back, he can leave the guild's protection in my hands. I was biding my time, determining how best to perform my duties in the face of overwhelming odds. But as soon as I got the word that Zira was reforming the guild, I was back here in 2 shakes of a horker's tail. Thrag did an admirable job in my absence. Now that I'm back, he will return to his role as my second in such matters. I know that will irritate the tusk out of him, but it can't be helped. I'm Thrag's superior in every way, and he knows it. Thrag chose well when he brought Gazana into the guild. She's more than capable, and I'm sure she will serve us well. And she's very pleasant to look at. Knowing Thrag, that was the first thing that crossed his mind when he recruited her. The Iron Wheel? Facing those sharp tusks head-on would be as suicidal as chubloons charging a snow bear. We will weather this storm. The guild was around before the Iron Wheel, and will still be around after they're long gone.
Come any closer, and I will break you. Tough as nails and twice as sharp. I'm the muscle. Even Velsa appreciates having some muscle around when things go south. And speaking of Velsa, I'm glad she's back. Velsa was an important figure in the guild before she retired. I'm kind of surprised she came back. Of course, she always preferred her plants over people. But I don't blame her. In my experience, people will disappoint you. Oh, what a delicate flower. Have you never walked the streets of Abba's Landing? Everyone needs muscle. I'm surprised more people don't have them. Stealth and skill will only take a thief so far. It takes muscle to make it the rest of the way.
Walk softly says we're safe down here, but I can't help looking around and thinking that I jumped out of the sinking boat and into the jaws of the slaughterfish. Do those kind of thoughts make me a bad person? I heard, but if the guild didn't wind up with the dowry, I wonder who did. It's the curse of Prince Hugh. Nothing ever turns out as planned in Abba's Landing, and that's the truth. You think so? That's the nicest thing anyone said about me since I left Greenshade. And mostly they said, good riddance as I departed. Who told you about... I mean, no, not a thing. Look, I can't help it if things accidentally happen to fall into my pouches. If I had to keep track of every item that belonged to someone else and wound up in my possession, I'd never get anything done.
I know. You thought I was the queen of the Dominion for a moment there, didn't you? Sorry, I'm just practicing for my next assignment. Have to keep my skills honed after all.
Common thieves only consider the horizontal. They never think about the vertical and how it relates to our chosen profession. Me, I'm always looking up. That's usually where the wealthy marks keep their best stuff.
I don't care who takes over the guild, as long as they supply me with components and let me build things that go boom. I've been working on a mechanical bird with an explosive inside. Impractical? Probably. Dramatic and flashy? Most definitely. It's brilliant, that's what it is. I joined the guild because of Velsa, you know. Hoped to learn whatever she was willing to teach me, but every time I asked a question, she threatened to defoliate my head. I'm glad she's back, though. Well, she's no legend like Nicholas was. But then again, nobody is. We all miss him terribly. Zira, on the other hand, she's one of us. She isn't afraid to get her hands dirty. I appreciate that in my guildmaster. Funny you should ask about that. I just finished building a device to help Brucus get into his uncle's vault. I hope he heeds my advice and stands well clear of the door after he sets it. I may have been a bit heavy with the Kindle pitch.
These new recruits are all well and good, but I'm glad to see more experienced guild members, such as myself, returning to the fold. I just hope Zira can restore our former glory. You make it sound so pedestrian. I am a member of the guild, just like you.
But instead of working with lockpicks, I balance ledgers, while keeping my eyes and ears open for interesting business opportunities. That's one word to describe what I do, and I do it very well. I'm a little worried about this Kosh person, though. Until I can examine his ledgers and review his journals, he's just an empty box as far as I'm concerned. And I hate empty boxes. If you're implying that I'd ever do anything to hurt the guild, well, that notion is as outlandish as a bonnet on a dragon frog. Now, unless you have some legitimate concerns to discuss, I prefer you let me get back to my books.
I told the guild about Nicholas betraying us. Walked softly, took it in stride. Quen gave me a hug, and Elsa walked off without a word. All in all, better than expected. The Iron Wheel is a hurricane that blew into port and smashed everything in its path. Nicholas and Kosh are the ones who set it in motion. Now, we learn what they hold most dear. Then, we take it from them. Nicholas taught me how to be a thief. I knew him for over a decade. Trusted him. Not much else to say, is there? What about? Velsa was right, and I don't say that lightly. I am responsible. Edda and Dalder died because of my mistake. Nicholas. I can only pray his death is far worse than what happened to the others. No. He seemed a bit distant before we first went to Aldenobia Tomb, but it was also the biggest heist we'd ever pulled off. Nothing prepared me for this.
Good, you're here! The old book we found at Sulima Mansion was the key to my father's cipher. His ledger revealed directions to his greatest treasure. It won't bring him back, but if we find it, Abar's Landing will no longer have a hold on me. I don't know. I don't think so. I've enjoyed my time with the Thieves Guild, even Velsa. And Lady Sulima is a stepmother I never knew. I wouldn't have figured out the cipher without her help. We deciphered the ledger together. I'd call out a number, she'd find the letter in the book. It was fun. She's so lonely, cooped up in her mansion. She only has mercenaries to keep her company. I know exactly where it is. Here, I'll mark your map. We've been in this together since all this madness began. I can't imagine recovering my inheritance without you at my side. Meet you there when you're ready, partner. Wait, did you hear that? I recognize them from Sulima Mansion. Why are they digging?
Mother Morrowind has her eye on you.
Those were Lady Sulima's mercenaries. What were they doing here?
Quen, you weren't supposed to be here.
Lady Sulima?
This is all wrong. They weren't supposed to hurt anyone.
Wait! Get back here! I can barely stand to look at her.
Please, I never meant to harm anyone. The mercenaries who protect my home, they overheard Quen and I speak of treasure. I promised them a share, and the rest I planned to give to Quen. You must believe me. It was the only way to provide their salary. The Iron Wheel never set foot in my home, yet everything of value has gone to keeping them at bay. None of my fortune remains. It is no excuse. I told myself, Seralda would want you to have a small portion of his treasure. But he already gave me years of his life that he could not provide to Quen. I was foolish. Please, forgive me.
Living with fear, you lie, you steal, you worry if the ones you love can accept what you've become. Of course I forgive you, Lady Sulima.
Oh, my dear child. I don't deserve your forgiveness.
Hush now. I'll bring you to a place where you'll be safe. It's where I live, and where you will too. My father died to protect Lady Sulima from the Iron Wheel. If it was his last wish, I should honor it. I'll give her my bunk. Honestly, I prefer hammocks. Lady Sulima won't have the luxuries of her manor, but she'll be safe in the den, as my father would have wanted. I'm glad you're a part of this. The choice wasn't easy, but it feels like we made the right one. I don't know. Perhaps I'll open the strongbox at my rooftop retreat. Somewhere comfortable and beautiful. You're welcome to stop by and see for yourself. I'm glad you're a part of this.
Thank you for swaying Quen's heart. I will earn her forgiveness. This I swear to you. I've never noticed how beautiful Abah's Landing actually is. Sitting here watching the city, it reminds me how lucky I am. As do you.
Cocky, self-assured,
Prices
brilliant.
never been better.
He got the better of us because he was good.
You admired him.
I did. I still might. Clever bastard. I just wonder if all the good things he did were part of the act.
I know the feeling.
Not many would have fled the life you had.
That wasn't living. It was waiting.
Like an itchy excess skin hanging on to your inner self.
I suppose so?
It took some time, but I finally figured out the best way to teach Anais a lesson. I promise this will make perfect sense to you shortly, my friend. Trust me, stay calm a moment longer, and all will become clear. My associate has returned with the reply from your mansion. Would you like to hear it?
Ransom! Is that your plan? My steward is under strict orders not to negotiate with kidnappers.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that's preposterous. She's not worth half that much.
That old goat! With me out of the way, he's probably hoping to take over the business. Have you contacted my mother?
She's in Rothgar this time of year, isn't she? Discussing trade agreements. We don't have time to reach out to her.
Untie me and we can forget all about this, Walks. For old time's sake? Are you listening to me?
Thanks for your patience with all of that. I hope I sounded convincing. Anais needs to see the errors of her ways. People aren't property. They aren't supposed to be sold and traded, and they certainly shouldn't be turned into slaves. There was no request for a ransom. I made that all up to scare her. No one even knows she's missing yet, and I'd like to keep it that way. Take these letters. I don't want her family's agents to come looking for her yet, so I forged them to explain her absence. Just plant them in the Velmont mansion, and that will give me all the time I need. Time for Anais to consider her situation, to see if being trapped and powerless changes her outlook on keeping pets and slaves. When she's learned her lesson, I'll set her free. Meet me at the Thieves' Den after you plant the letters. Glad you decided to join me. These pirates are definitely of the unfriendly persuasion. I tracked Anais to that building behind us, but the lock on the door has thwarted all of my attempts to pick it. One of these pirates must have a key. Maybe you'll have better luck finding it than I did. You did? Excellent! I'll let you have the pleasure of seeing if that key will unlock the door. After you. Anais, I'm so glad we found you. And all in one piece, too.
No thanks to you. You left me tied up on the docks. What did you think was going to happen? I demand you escort me home. Immediately.
Right. Of course. I just need a moment to confer with my associate.
Of course you do. Just let me know when you're ready to get me out of here. These pirates have no appreciation of soap and water. You're Walk Softly's idiot associate. Don't think I haven't memorized your face.
On the one hand, I'm grateful that Anais doesn't appear any worse for the wear. On the other hand, I hope to see some evidence by now that she'd learned her lesson. Yes, rescue her. Yes, I never wanted to become a slave merchant. But if we set her free, won't she just continue with her awful ways? I hate to admit it, but I'm at a loss as to how to proceed. Yes, I suppose I should. But does that mean I abandon my goal to teach Anais a lesson? How would I live with myself if she continues to treat people as things? I could set her free, but what's the profit in that? What does that matter? Should I determine my actions based on the inclinations of a slave-keeping, self-centered aristocrat? What should I do? I just want to return to the den, put this awful business behind us. I'll let you out of here, Anais. I just hope this helps you realize the difference between people and property.